Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share with you a powerful message inspired by the timeless wisdom of Lesbrown. You were not born to be average. Each one of us has a unique potential, a gift that is waiting to be unleashed. Too often we allow ourselves to be confined by the limitations imposed by society, by our fears, and by our self-doubt. But I am here to tell you that you are destined for greatness. You have the power to rise above mediocrity, to break free from the ordinary, and to achieve extraordinary things. Today, let's embrace our true potential and commit to living a life that is far from average. I was born in Liberty City, a poor part of Miami, Florida. I was born in an empty building on the same floor as my twin brother. They took us in when we were 6 weeks old. In the 5th grade, I was labeled as EMR, which means educable, or mentally retarded. I was then sent back to the 4th grade where I failed again in the 8th grade. I have not been to college, but my mother paid for it. Lincoln once said, "I owe my mother everything I am and everything I ever hope to be." This makes me think of him. One time I saw a sign that said God took me from my birth mother's belly and put me in my adoptive mother's heart. My first big goal was to buy a house for my mom so I could take care of her. I took care of her until she died at age 88. But I will always remember meeting Mr. Washington. After waiting for another student, he walked in and told me, "Young man, go to the board and figure this out for us." I told him I couldn't do that. He asked, "Why?" "I told you I wasn't your student. Look at me," he said. "Yes, sir," I said. "Go to the board and figure it out." Anyhow, I told him, "Sir, I can't do what you want me to do." He asked, "Why, sir?" "Because I'm not smart enough to learn, sir." As the students laughed out loud, he came out from behind his desk, looked at me, and told me not to say that again. What someone thinks of you doesn't have to become true for you. That was the moment when my life changed. There were times when I felt ashamed and times when I felt free. Gerda told me that if you look at a guy the way he is, he will only get worse. He looked at me with those eyes, but look at him like he's what he could be. He then turns into what he should be. Most people fail in life not because they set too high of goals and miss them. A lot of people fail in life because they don't aim at all or aim too low. Set higher goals for yourself and don't ask how you're doing. Instead, ask yourself how you're going to do it. It's always clear to me when I want to become an inspiring speaker. When I thought about the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, my heart told me, I can do that. But the question how kept going through my mind, and for more than 14 years, I would be in the crowd when Zig Ziglar, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Jim Rohn, and other speakers spoke, and my heart would jump and say, "You can do that, yet less you can do that." My mind would ask, "How are you going to do it?" as I left and walked to the parking lot. And it took me a long time to figure out how I lost 14 years. How many of you have ever put things off? Please raise your hands. Yes. As you think about your goals, the most important thing is to make a promise to yourself. Write it down. You see, once you make up your mind, the how and the way will show up. You will find it out once you make up your mind to do it. You can also turn around and go the other way if you're going the wrong way. You'll figure it out. To start, you should just push yourself. When you think about your goals, you don't know what you can't do, so you want to push yourself. I want to challenge you to decide that you are going to make that happen. I also hope that the goal is something that is important to you. Because I was a kid, my only goal was to get food for my family. My mom had a job on Miami Beach. She did housework for a living. And my goal was for us to be able to really go to the store and buy food for ourselves. The families knew that my mom had taken in 7 kids. Also, they told Mamie that she could take any extra food home to give to her kids after the meal. They were really nice and thoughtful people. People were nice to my mom when she worked on Miami Beach. I was grateful for their kindness. Back when I was a little boy, I told my mom, "When I grow up, I'll be able to buy groceries for us." When I was a kid, my goal was to get my siblings new clothes. We wore clothes that belonged to kids that Mama babysat when she went to Miami Beach. She would also let them out if the clothes were too small. Mama could sew them up if they were too big. Also, I will always remember David Sidursky. His dad had a lot of money. His mother worked for him. David was my friend, though. For his birthday, his dad gave him 2 gifts, a brand new boat and some tapes that will inspire him. Earl Nightingale, I'll never forget what he told David. Man, let me tell you something. You will get everything when I die. Please listen to these tapes. David threw those tapes away in the trash can when his dad left the room. I asked David, may I have those tapes? Yes, he said. I told him, man, your dad told you that if you listen to these, you can get and do more than he has. He told her, look, I'm going to get everything anyway. Take them. Go ahead. Note this down. It's not what your kids will get, what you leave in them. You have something unique. You are capable of great things. And the only reason you're here is because I asked you to be here. I can feel it. In your hearts, some of you feel me right here. I want to get into your heart, not your mind. Because of this, you need to believe that I can do this. If you want to strengthen your belief, you can listen to tapes, go to classes and workshops, and push yourself to do things that will make you believe. It was Osborne who said that you will never grow if you don't try to do something that you already know how to do. And as you push yourself, you'll find out things about yourself that you didn't know before. Another thing is that you start to think about yourself, your dreams, and new things. Stepping into your greatness is also very important. No matter what your goals and dreams are, you need to act before you're ready. If you want to be motivated and trained, Price Pritchett told you to act before you're ready. In life, we are told to walk by faith, not by sight. You need to start pushing yourself really hard. You want to take more risks. You want to set higher goals for yourself. That's not something most people will do. See, this is how most people live their lives. They don't take many risks. God said that you can't grow if you don't take risks. You can't become your best if you can't grow. You can't be happy if you can't do your best. What else is there if you can't be happy? What Helen Keller said sound good to me. Life is short and can't be planned. Start with the treat so you're ready to start taking risks. You should start to push yourself and let yourself fail. It's okay to fail and learn from it. Be careful not to let your fear of failing and the allure of playing it safe in life pull you in. You're not going to get out of this life alive. You have to die to get out of here. You also look at your goals in yourself. Clean up your life. Note that down. See, I think most people never reach their real goals because they're around too many bad, negative people who drain their energy. You should ask yourself, what is this relationship doing to me? When you look at the people in your life, what does it mean for my life? Am I a better person now? Another name for Sidney Poitier's book is The Measure of a Man. There. If you go for a walk with someone, something happens that you are not aware of. It's not said. They will either slow down or speed up to match yours. Whose speed have you changed to see? You want to be around people? My daughter, Ona Brown, is a teacher and speaker. She says, pick your team, but make sure they are people you can learn from. You might be able to make your dream come true. It's important for you to believe that I will do this, but you need to own up to it. You have to say, hey, I'm going to do this. You're going to. You must be in charge of your own life. People who make it in life, according to George Bernard Shaw, look for the conditions they want and make them if they can't find them. It's up to you. It's me. You need to say what you need to say and be sure of it. I think I'll win. That's something I think we should say. Most people will say, do you want to be successful? They'll say, yes. I walked my older son for the sake of my name. Calvin said, you know, we always expect our kids to do a lot more than we do. He wants to be himself. His name is Leslie Calvin Brown, Jr. I stopped him, looked him in the eyes, and asked, son, do you want to be successful? Yes, our dad. Wonderful. Son, let's go for a walk. Go a little further. Again, stopped him. I told Calvin, son, look me in the eyes. Yes, Dad and Sir, do you think you can do well, son? He just stood there and looked at me with glassy eyes. Let's go for a walk. He told us to go for a walk because his son is very smart. He might be the smartest of all my kids. But Calvin, who is over 30 years old and has 2 girls by himself, is a good dad. Calvin, he's behind on his goals at this point in his life, a person with a lot of ability and skills who is also very conservative. Great mind, but only. Hasn't grown into the kind of person we want our kids to be, or at least that's what I want. Calvin, son, you need to step it up a notch. You had no idea you'd be 30 years old. You need to step it up. To make your dreams come true, you need to give yourself more energy. You can't treat your dreams like nothing, says Bill Bailey. If you're careless about your dream, you'll end up a casualty. Make them shake your hand right and left and say, kick it up a notch. Yes, you need to step it up. If you're going to bring something, you need to step it up a notch. How do you sign your name? Please give more service than you are paid for when you think about where you want to go and what you want to do when you think about your goods or service. Yes, there, that's your signature. You should hold yourself to high standards when you think about your products, services, goals, and the business as a whole. What Henry David Thoreau said is fine with me. Go where there isn't a road and leave a mark. Don't follow the path. There will be changes in your business in 5 and 10 years. How will that happen? How well known are you in your field? What's going around about you when you walk into a room and when you leave? Do people say, hey, that's the person to go to? That's a person. When you ask them to do something, you mean that the thing is done. It is going to be done very well. For that person to think I could do this, do they know you? It was tough. Don't forget that my son asked me, Daddy, are you going to die? What's the point of your question? You don't go out very often. You don't seem like the happy person I know you to be. That's not much talk. You're by yourself in the room for a long time. Dad, are you going to give up? Are you giving up? Do you really want that doctor's opinion to become true? Will my dad see me finish school? Yes. Yes, son, yes, I'm going to fight. Not at all. I don't think it's my turn yet. I will be there to watch you graduate. I'm going to do other things with my life, though, and I appreciate you asking. I'm scared, though. This is the first time I've ever felt this scared. It's been easy for me to talk to people and give them hope when they're having a hard time. But it's me. And telling you this doesn't make me feel less of a man. I am scared and need help. Please repeat after me. You don't need to be weak to ask for help. You want to stay strong. Keep going until you get it. Yes. You see, life is tough, and there will be times when you need help. You'll need someone to talk to you. Someone will have to say something to you. Willie Jolly is an inspiring speaker and a friend of mine. He said that a loss makes a comeback possible. I had to listen to the tapes that Willie had. Kevin Brace is another friend of mine who speaks. Les, come on, man, he said. You are able to do this. This is possible for you. You're able to hit a home run. It's official. You have lesbrown. You need to get rid of that cancer. I told Kevin to talk to me. I need to hear that. What you said was important to me. It doesn't matter who you are. There are a lot of people who are too proud to ask for help. Because of ego, pride comes before fall. To ego is to push God aside. Not at all. You don't need to be weak to ask for help. You want to stay strong. Keep going until you get it. A lot of people helped me get here. When I was having trouble believing in myself, a lot of people did. That's why I'm here. Also, let's agree that it's worth it. It's worth it. Yes, I see. Write this down. You need to come up with 5 reasons why it's worth it to you. For 5 reasons. Why do you think it's worth it? It was, I want to take care of my mom. It said, I want to do something with my life. Now, why do you think it's worth it? My goal is to leave something behind. I refuse to die without having lived a full life. Why do you think it's worth it? Please repeat that to me. You must be hungry. What I'm doing now is something that no one could have swayed me from. Going into a sales organization and greatly increasing their sales is the easiest thing I do every year. Alternatively, I can go into a prison and help prisoners see themselves in a new light and teach them how to work within the system. Finally, I can inspire young people to start thinking about how they can have a vision of themselves in the future and how they can fit into it. That's what I do most often. Or teach a speaker how to use their experience to help others. This will help them see that speaking is a reflection of who they are, not who they think they should be, and that they have power from a stage. I've never done something that easy before. I want to tell you about the hardest thing I've ever done. Believing I could do what I'm doing now was the hardest thing I've ever done. No one could have changed my mind. Because of how things were, I made millions of dollars every year. No one could have changed my mind. I wouldn't know either of my parents if they came up here right now. No one could have changed my mind. Being called teachable and mentally retarded, having been born in an empty building in Liberty City, a poor area of Miami, Florida, failing 2 school years, not going to college, and never working for a big company. Something I didn't know how to do got me to where I am now. Mike Williams was my teacher, and I'll never forget him. Some people fail in life because they need help from someone who can guide and teach them. When you understand and accept your fear and still go forward, you do so with the spirit and understanding that there is a way to start dealing with this, a way out there, a solution. What you want is to be able to deal with and face whatever comes up. And instead of being helpless, you start to feel strong. There are a lot of people who are biting their nails because they are afraid they might lose their jobs because of all the layoffs going on in this country. Not many people, though, have chosen deep down, I'm going to make it. Not everyone is ready to be cut. The reason some people move on their own is because they feel it inside them. I have what it takes to succeed. What makes them not scared of tomorrow is how they see themselves, what they believe they deserve, and what they believe they can make happen for themselves. Because these people have chosen that when they look at themselves in the future, there is a way. There is a way for me to start making a way out of nothing. And nothing can stop you if you have that kind of spirit and awareness. Nothing. When you think about the future, what would your life be like? If you chose, I wouldn't let my fears stop me, right? How would your day be? What would happen in the future if you chose to want what you want so badly that it pushes you past your fears and makes you feel the fear? Feel the fear and do it anyway, as the one book says. How would your day be? Also, I want you to know that all of us who have been buried by fear have the power to rise again. Is it simple? It's not simple. Could I do it? Yes. How would you like to begin? There are times when some of us need someone to hold our hand. Someone please help us. Be ready to say, I don't know, and reach out. If you want to become a better player, you need to be willing to get help. You don't think fighters will say anything deep. I believe this was said by Joe Frazier. During our lives, he says, all of us are like the blind man who stands on the corner and waits for someone to lead us across. In other words, we all need help sometimes. Someone needs to reach out and throw us a lifeline. We need help getting through some dangerous seas that we couldn't handle on our own. We don't all do it by ourselves. We all need that kind of help at some point in our lives. We need that kind of help because we don't grow in a vacuum. We grow from the people in our lives who can make them better in all areas. Personally, professionally, mentally, and everything else. If you want to experience all of your true potential and manifest all of your greatness, you need to look at yourself and figure out what you're afraid of and whether you need help to get stronger in that area. You need to also look at your strengths and weaknesses and start to prove yourself around your passions, dreams, goals, and the things you want. What else am I able to get out here? I would feel the fear of rejection if I chose to go through it. Not at all. Being afraid of failing, being afraid of being alone, being afraid of taking a chance, and being afraid of losing everything. What else can I do that will give my life more direction and value? The worry that people won't like me? You know how many people do bad things just so other people will like them? You won't be liked by anyone. Please excuse me, important message. You won't be liked by anyone. That kind of world doesn't exist. But you know what? A lot of people won't speak out for themselves or take a stand for things they believe in because they don't want to upset anyone. It was Bill Cosby, I see. He said, I don't know what makes people successful, but he said, here's what I know, why people fail. He said it to make everyone happy. As we conclude our time together, I want you to remember this. You were not born to be average. Deep within you lies a wellspring of potential, creativity, and strength that is waiting to be unleashed. It's time to break free from the chains of mediocrity and step into your greatness. Think about the dreams and aspirations that you have tucked away. Now is the time to bring them to the forefront, to believe in yourself, and to take bold actions towards making them a reality. Surround yourself with positivity. Seek out those who inspire and uplift you, and never settle for anything less than your best. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Let's continue to support and motivate each other as we strive to reach our full potential. The world needs your brilliance, your courage, and your unique gifts. You were not born to be average. You were born to be extraordinary. Go out there, embrace your greatness, and make your mark on the world. You have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. Believe it, Live it and never forget that you were born for more.